Flosstube, welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. My name is Cameron. You can call me Cam or Cameron, doesn't matter. I go by Cam the Stitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram. And welcome in. Hello, how are you? How have you been? It has been almost a month since I last posted. You know, I was all about that every 2 weeks, and then that just really dropped off this year, but it's fine. Obviously it's a very busy time at the moment. I did go to Jingle Ball this past weekend, which was very, very fun. So I figured I would wait to film post Jingle Ball to show you things that I worked on, things that I started, things that I finished. So I will also be talking about knitting at the end of the video, as well as like things I've been reading, watching, listening to today. So first we're going to start with finishes. The first thing I'm going to show you, coming off the Jingle Ball. The Jingle Ball is hosted by Lindy Stitches, Stephanie from Lindy Stitches, and it is a online cross stitch retreat. It features shopping, fun videos, exclusive cross-stitch designs in the shopping from said designers. It's got meet and greets. You can go on whip speed dating, and then it's got stitchy rooms as well that are like online stitching rooms. So I attended. I had a really wonderful time. I did mostly just sat in the stitchy rooms, and there's also classes as well that you can take. I did sign up for 2 classes. I did not finish either project. Well, I finished stitching one of the projects. I just didn't FFO it or fully finish the object. And then the other one I took is still a whip. So, but anywho, included in this, it was $10 to attend, just not the classes, but just the overall Jingle Ball. It was $10. And with that came lots of good stuff, but there were so many freebies in the different designers' shopping hauls. But there was also a Jingle Ball freebie, and I quickly stitched him up because, are you kidding? Yes. So this was the freebie, and I stitched this on 14 count pistachio by Fiber on a Whim. I stitched with the called for DMC with 2 strands. And then I did my back stitching with 2 strands as well, just if anyone was curious. It's got a little 24 down here, and then you can see Jingle Ball in his hat. And that felt wonderful. A little cute saff. It took me literally a day to do this. My friend Rachel from Lemonade Stitching, it took her also a day to stitch this and then FFO it in front of our eyes. So oh, it's so cute. My friend Maddie from Kitty Stitch also finished this in a day, the first day of Jingle Ball. I stitched it the Saturday of Jingle Ball, but yeah, it was such a fun little stitch, and yeah, it felt good to saff something. But before that, I actually finished another whip of mine. This I just recently started. This is Black Cherry Tart by Plum Street Samplers. And I started this earlier in November, and I don't remember what day I finished it, but I think the day after Thanksgiving maybe. So I did finish this in November, I think. But yeah, this is done. I've not FFO'd it yet. I need to order a tart pan because I do want to finish it like the model is here. I think I'll need a 5-inch tart pan. We'll see. I think it's 4 inches each way. So it looks so good. I used the called for DMC on, I did pick 2 overdyes of Color and Cotton for these berries, and then this red in the wing you see here. I stitched this on 20 count Bestitch Me Gray Magic with 1 strand. It looks so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah. So now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna do a giveaway. I haven't done one of these in forever. So if you want to enter to win this chart, I will mail it to you. Just have to be over 18 or over. Do not use the word giveaway, anything like that, free, whatever. And then I'm gonna ask you to use the word tart because that's fun. So just use the word tart in your comment if you want to enter to win this. And I will, next video, pick a random generator thing and I will mail this to you. And I will pick it the next regular Flosstube. I will have some Flosstube extras hopefully coming out later this year, so whatever. But anyways, if you want to win this, put that in your comment. All right, third finish. I know. And the size of them, you know, they're so big. This I've had as a whip since I started this last year for sure. I think last December. This is We Santa, the 2022 version. Very cute. And I finished it the other day. All I had on this before was literally just, I think, this without any of the back stitching or anything like that. So when I picked this back up, I did the word first, and then I started doing everything around the Santa, started outlining the Santa, and then I left that fill-in for the last thing I did, which may have been a mistake, but it's fine. It is done. That's all that matters. And it has a beautiful fuzzy on it. So this is stitched on 20 count Vintage Country Mocha. I did put the beads on here and they are a little bulky. I did forget that if you want to use the beads that come included in this, you should probably stitch this on 32, 28 count linen or 14 count, 16 count Aida. You could probably get away with 18 count. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I got away with 20 count. It is what it is. So this is done. And I'm very happy about that. So if you want to, now I will say, this does not have, I'm not going to send you the bead pack because it's gone. But if you're interested in stitching this, you want me to mail this to you, please put the word jolly in your comment and I will send this to you. 2 giveaways. Who am I? I'm just gonna mail these to you. I'm gonna put them in a card and mail them to you. You get it. So yeah, that is all the finishes, all the giveaways. And I've been semi-productive. I feel like I've been doing a lot of stitching. I do have notes. Let's see. I've done 11,962 stitches since I last saw you, which is pretty good. Listen, I'm keeping an eye on those stats. I also did some math, y'all, this past week that's just like, I'm going to talk about it in a separate video is what I'm going to do. I am going to make a separate plans video because I have too much to talk about. And I know some people really like to just, I know me, let's say that. I love to watch people's planning for the new year of stitching or whatever their craft is. Even like I like knitting and things like that too. So I'm going to make a separate 2025 plans video that will come out before the end of the year. And I'm really excited. But I did some math and it is jaw-dropping. Let's just say that. So before we move on to new starts or whips, I do want to show you some previous finishes just because I thought that'd be fun. I do have 3 previous finishes to show you that are not like FFO'd or anything, but these are wintertime, Christmassy kind of finishes that I did. This is a really old one. I finished this in the beginning of 2022, I want to say. This is a Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery pattern. I stitched this on 28 count something. Couldn't tell ya. And as you can see, I have like a pile of just like orts. This just sits on my couch arm. And back then I was much the same, and you can see that I accidentally picked up a different white thread off the arm of my couch when I was stitching this. But did I frog it? No, I sure didn't. It's there. I still haven't FFO'd this because I don't FFO hardly anything, but I do have some behind me. And then these two are from the Lola Crow ornament stitch along from last year. I only did these two, but I did finish them both. So I think this one was called like Creepy Carolers or something like that. This is stitched on 20 count Aida by Fiber on a Whim in the colorway Cocoa. And then this one is really cute too. I eventually want to finish the other, I think there were 6 of them, so I have 4 more to do, and I still have scraps of this same fabric for it. It's not going to happen this year. It's already almost Christmas at this point, so I don't think I'll start any because I'll talk about it in plans, but I have a lot of goals for the end of this year, and I have a lot of goals next year, so we'll see. Okay, so whips. I don't have the pattern with me at the moment, so I'm just gonna put up a picture, but let's get this out of the way. This is, oh gosh, if you've watched me before, you'll know I'm saying this, but anyways, if you're new here, I am stitching a whip. It is called Vanity Sampler by Hello from Liz Matthews. It is Gorgina. I made my own color conversion with very like moody Victorian goth garden colors, in my opinion. Whatever, colors and opinions about colors are subjective, but that is what I created, and I'm stitching this along with my friend Bridget, the museum stitcher, and we both are aiming to finish this by the end of this year. Today is what, December 12th, so I would like to have this finished before Christmas because I need a break, but here it is, and it's a little rolled at the sides, but oh, I'm almost done. I'm so close yet so far away. So I am under 2,000 stitches left, and let me go down here. All I have left is this side's motifs. I'm almost done with that bird motif, which is my least favorite motif in this whole thing was the bird to stitch. It's beautiful, but it was my least favorite to stitch, but it's almost done. And then I've got the house to finish, these 2 vases to finish, and then a couple of little doodads, I think. And then I'm almost done with this, what we are calling the ribbon candy border. The top is basically done. The bottom, you can see I still have a little bit to go. But it's so close. It's so close. This is stitched on 36 count brown sugar by Fiber on a Whim. This is like my favorite neutral. I love it. It's kind of crazy. I feel like after I finish this, I need to start another sampler on brown sugar, but I don't. So I'm not going to, but yeah, this looks awesome. I love it. I'm just ready to be done. This will be a finish the next time you see it. I know Bridget just put out her video this past weekend and she said the exact same thing, so it's gonna happen. You know, thankfully though, I did the whole border and I don't have to do any more border at the end of this, and that was the correct way to go for me. So anyways, very exciting. Almost done. Almost. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you, this is actually a new start, my only new start, I'm pretty sure. This is a pattern by Lindy Stitches. This was from the very first Jingle Ball. It is called Peppermint Candy. And I did attend the first Jingle Ball, but what I did, this was right after I started my Flosstube, I think. I was too nervous to go into the stitching tables. And so I ended up shopping and then exiting out and not actually doing any of the interactive things because I was too nervous to do it. which is funny to think about now. But hey, whatever. So I'd gotten this at the time and I never started it. And I'd purchased the fabric as well during the Jingle Ball. I think, now I don't remember, it's a seraphim fabric. I want to say it's like, or maybe, I honestly don't remember. Anyways, regardless, here it is. It's a 32 count. I'm stitching with mostly the called for. It called for Forbidden Fiber Co. And at the time I went and bought the Forbidden Fiber Co. flosses and then never started it. So I finally have that. The only thing I subbed out, I think, was this, whatever the red was called for. I went ahead and got, or I had this color in cotton called Bing Cherry. And then, oh, there was one Weeks that was called for and I replaced it with Forbidden Fiber Go Jingle Bells, which was perfect. I think it was called for in Weeks Curry, this gold. But anyways, this was really, really fun to start. And I realized that I don't have a project like this going at the moment where there's these like tiny little motifs that are so quick to work up and then you move on to another motif. And I don't know, this was really, honestly, this was super fun to start. So I think that I'm going to keep this out this month and try to put a couple motifs in a week. Because, I mean, look at this. I mean, that's tiny. Obviously, there's a lot of color changes and stuff, but it's not annoying to me because I'm, like, completing the tiny little picture and then I'm moving on to the next one. I don't know. It's kind of fun. So, yeah, we've got a candy cane, this little flower situation. You can see this will be a snowman. Little cup of hot cocoa, Santa hat. I don't know. It's just cute as a button. So the next whip that I have in the same bag, this is the Christmas wreath by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this is stitched on 28 count Lugana in the colorway Hot Cocoa by Bestitch Me. And I did a couple hundred stitches on this. So I got that star in and a lot of fill-in on that bow I was working on. I am stitching this with mostly the called for DMC and I'm using 2 strands. So, oh, I have like little threads and fuzzies all over my work. I'm not gonna apologize. It is what it is. I love this. My friend Elizabeth over at Frizzy Lizzy Stitches is also stitching this on a 28 count Lugana, and we were both talking about how how soft Bestitch Me's Lugana is, and this is actually a joy to stitch on. She started at the top of the wreath, so if you want to go check her out and see a different part of this stitched up, go check out her channel because it's very cute. All right, my next whip might seem kind of random, but to me, this is a very wintry whip, and I had only worked on this a little bit this year. It was a sad, sad start, as I would say, as many of us would say. This is Skyrim Sampler, or no, it's Dragonborn by Jet X Stitch. It is a Skyrim themed sampler. I'm stitching this on Boneyard by Bestitch Me on a 40 count, and that is where I'm at. I'm stitching with 1 strand of this beautiful Dying for Sass variegated floss. It's this like really deep teal that is just so yummy. And I don't know why, to me this just reads Skyrim, like, I don't know, it just is. So I did a lot more of this motif, so this whole like corner motif's almost done, and then I went ahead and took a break and put in the Elder Scroll that you can see here. I love it. I really want to have this as a finish next year because I want to start more Jet X Stitch patterns, and I'm trying to be more, whatever the word you want to use, mindful, whatever, about my whips, and I don't want to just start a bunch of Jet X Stitch whips and them not get because I want these as a, like, I want them on my wall, you know. I love Skyrim. It is one of my favorite pieces of media it is up there. Like, it's like Nightmare Before Christmas, Les Mis, you know, Lady Gaga's 2009 VMA performance, and then Skyrim. Like, those are like all here for me. I played it so much as a teenager. I played it through college. I played it as an adult still. My partner is the same way. He loves Skyrim. He's literally replaying it right now. It's one of those video games that you never get sick of. You can always play it, and like, it's just so good. So sorry, I'm not gonna apologize for the rant. I love it. And yeah, so this will be a focus piece for sure next year to an extent. I'm gonna see how far I can get. The good thing is it's monochromatic, so that's nice, but it is on 40 count, which I'm not vibing with anymore, but we'll see. Okay, my next whip. This is my Peaky Blinders stitch is now what I'm calling it, but this is a huge sampler. It is a Dutch reproduction sampler that was the 2022 Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along from 2022. Already said that. All right, I am stitching on this for every episode that I watch of Peaky Blinders. I am stitching on this and taking progress photos. If you want to see more, you can go to my Instagram. I do have a highlight on my profile of all my progress, so it's very fun to follow along. But this is the whole thing. It is huge. It's stitched on 32 count linen that I tea-dyed myself, and I'm stitching with one strand of 310. And sorry for like throwing this around, but it is huge. I'm going to zoom you in to where I've been working on. So I did finish out that vase, and then I started this motif and then rounded out the border, I think, from the last time you saw this. So next time I pick it up, I will finish that heart motif, keep going on the border, and start these bigger motifs that I think are over here. But I haven't been watching Peaky Blinders because I have been so focused on Vanity Sampler. And the fun thing about this process, and it might not be fun for everyone, but to me, making myself work on this and getting as much progress as I can per hour-long episode has been really enjoyable. And it's like I'm like speed running. I don't know, like it's like a challenge to myself. But yeah, as a reminder, if you go to my Instagram and you see the amount of stitches I do per episode, a couple of things. One, I am stitching in hand with the sewing method, so I'm not having to like pull through, go down and pull down and then pull back up. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm literally doing this and then going back. So it's very fast. I'm also stitching with one strand on 32 count. It is, I mean, it's, you know, like I have to kind of slow myself down a little bit because it so easily goes through the holes on this linen. And number 3, I pre-thread all of my needles. So I'll pre-thread like 6 needles with one strand of DMC 310 and I just go to town. So if that helps, I'm also working off a PDF. That is faster for me as well. So that's kind of the method of the madness, but you know, I enjoy it. Okay, the next project is in my beautiful Jasmine Customs bag that is also my cat's favorite toy. But I don't know why. She loves this thing. She literally rubs herself all over it. If this is sitting in a pile of project bags and it is at the bottom, she will smell it and get it out from under the other project bags. I have it in a cubby sometimes. She pulls it out from the cubby and lays it on the ground and then rubs herself all over it. She doesn't do this with any other bag. Don't know what her deal is, but it's always a fun fact. Okay, so this whip is 4 Seasons by Barbara Anna. The last time I showed this to you, I had finished the Autumn Girl. So I'll show that to you again. This is stitched on 20 count Brown Sugar Ada by Fiber on a Whim. So at the Jingle Ball, my friend Marjorie started this project as well, but she started with the Winter Girl. Now I believe that she's going to be doing them all on different colored fabrics and finishing them separately. She's not sure exactly the FFO yet. My plan is I'm stitching them all on this piece of fabric, and I think I want to finish this as a drum, like a really fat, big drum where you can like, I can have it on the mantle, or where I don't have a mantle. I say these things like, you know, my fireplace. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stand it somewhere and then I'll rotate it per the season where like it's out where I can see it, if that makes sense. Because I don't know, that just sounds fun. But I started my winter girl. I did put in some white stitches, if you can barely see them. Oh, there you go. Oh, if I do that, you can see them. I will say you can definitely see them more in person. I'm really not that pressed about it. I obviously have an entire girl finished here. I'm not restarting this project because some white stitches doesn't show up that well on my fabric. I'm going to keep going. This is the only place where white will be like standalone, kind of. There will be some berries coming off of this vine similar to this one. So I'm really not that concerned. But anyways, she's coming along. Not a lot done, but this is past the 25% mark, which is crazy. Well, it makes sense because I have one girl done out of 4, but they all have different stitch counts. So, but starting the winter girl did put me over the 25% mark, which is great. My next whip, this is one of the classes I signed up for Jingle Ball. This is in my Sheba Designs beautiful Christmas project bag. This is Festive Forest by the Blue Flower, and I'm stitching this on a 32 count Oak Crown Studios fabric in the colorway Queen, and that is where I'm at so far. I'm almost done with this first, what I would say is kind of a panel. I did start the squirrel that's over here. I love this. I am doing a combination of the called for DMC and then some overdyes that I picked out of my stash. It's so pretty. I did watch her finish. She did the finishing class on this, and I know I can do it. I know I can. But I want this done, but it's so many stitches. Those of you that finished this before the class, I wish that I was you. But I know that's because I'm working on like 50 other things. So like, absolutely, you know, that's my own problem. All right, my next whip. This is a Christmas stocking. I forgot it's a PDF that I have, but it's from these old magazines. You can get them as PDFs now from the Cooler Design Studios website. That's where it's from. I'm stitching this for my sister, and I worked on this a bit during the Jingle Ball, and that's where I'm at. So I'm building up this next shelf you see here, and kind of just like taking whatever color I have and kind of just going wherever I need to go with it. But mostly what you're going to notice is all of this that I've done. This is stitched on a 25 count Lugana in the colorway Potato. So it's kind of got like little speckles, but yeah, it's very cool. I'm definitely going to keep this out through Christmas and try to get more progress on it. Definitely won't be a finish this year, but... And my last whip, this is The Sixth Day of Christmas by Hello from Liz Matthews. It's the tree version. I'm doing all of the trees. My friend Bridget is stitching this along with me. She's doing all the samplers on one piece of 46 count. We are both behind. So we were supposed to finish The Sixth Day of Christmas by the end of November. It is now the middle of December. Neither of us have done that. We're gonna try to catch up, which what that means is that we need to finish 6th Day of Christmas this month, start the 7th Day of Christmas, get as much done as we can, and then finish the 7th day of Christmas by the end of January. But anyways, this is where I am so far. I'm almost done with the entire, I think I am done with like the top. So now I'm going down, filling out this vine, and then the goose will be right there. This is stitched on 36 count beanstalk by Fiber on a Whim. I'm doing them all on 36 count, different colors. This one's definitely the brightest that I've chosen so far, but I think it goes really well with my other colors, so. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm stitching this with 1 strand as well of the called for DMC. That is all of my whips. Rapid fire. Honestly, I was much more organized this time around, which is helpful. Oh, I have a little bit of haul / plans / stitchy kindness, and then we'll talk knitting after that, and life stuff, or whatever you want to call it. Not life stuff. I don't talk about my life. But you know what I mean. Okay. So, one of my plans / haul that I've got for you, this I am starting, yes, I have to. This is, Quaker Christmas Stocking by Kathy Barrick. Annie at XO in the haystack. I will put her at the bottom. She has an amazing Flosstube, an amazing Instagram, and she is hosting a stitch along next year for this pattern. Now, Kathy did put it as a stocking and a sampler, so if you don't want to do the stocking, you do have this option over here. The chart comes with both options. And Annie is dividing this up starting December 26th, I think, or 27th. She's gonna divide this up and kind of break it down into manageable sections so that we will have it finished by next December. I'm very, very excited to start this. It is gorgeous. It's gonna look so good next to my White Winter Moth that I have as a whip by Kathy Barrick. And yeah, I need one of these big stockings, and I love all of the big stockings that, I mean, Kathy Barrick has them. I know Plum Street Samplers has 1 or 2, and then the Carriage House Samplings has a couple of these big stockings, and I love them. But this one definitely spoke to me more, and I think it is more manageable in terms of stitch count, because it's the only full coverage thing that's happening is this swan motif, and it's gorgeous, and I love how it pops right in the middle. So anyways, all of that to say, I did pick this up from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher, and I picked up fabric for it. So if you stitch it on 40 count, I believe it fits on a fat quarter, but I didn't want to stitch it on 40 count. So I decided to get 20 count Ada. I got a fat half of 20 count Ada in the colorway Oatmeal by Fiber on a Whim, which I think this is the perfect color for this. It's definitely like, it might be not quite as yellow tone. I don't know. It's pretty warm. But anyways, I got this, and I'll have plenty of fabric long ways here to stitch this on. I am still deciding between just doing the called for DMC or picking out my own overdyed situation. I did go through my overdyed collection yesterday, and I looked at what I have. I have the perfect teal color. This is Abyss by Color & Cotton. It's one of my favorite flosses of all time. I've got, of course, a white in stash, a gold. This is probably a lot brighter than it's called for. It's called Bumblebee. I have a green. This is a Fernwood. A yucky yellowy green I love. Tomato leaves. Then I'm going to go brighter on the blues too. This is Poseidon. Oh, hello. This is Poseidon. And then this is Puddle Jumping. And then for the brown, which is those larger Quaker motifs on the side you can see her stitch in, I'm actually going to use this Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers variegated cotton that I got at Queen City Stitch Retreat. And it's mostly brown, but it does have a little bit of green in it. I don't know. It looks fun. So I think this is my conversion. And then I'll also pop in 310 for that fill-in on the swan motif. I'll just do DMC for that. Here's a little floss toss. I think that'll work perfectly. So yeah, this is a plan. I will start this at the end of the year. I'm gonna start at the top with that Merry Christmas and work my way down because I'm gonna stitch this in hand because I wanna go fast. So that's all for haul, but I do have a little bit of stitchy kindness. My friend Jess over on Instagram, she sent me a couple of things that she found. The first one being this clown, this creepy clown pattern by Manny D. Donna, which is very funny. I love it. So, and then these were she found these and she was like, do you want any of these? Because she found them, I think, at like a thrift store or something. And I was like, I would like them. So these are both Raggedy Ann kits, cross stitch kits. And these are the two that I picked. They're like definitely Valentine's themed. And I just love them. I don't know who they're, let's see. Designs by Gloria and Pat. Well, thank you, Gloria and Pat. Oh, I think it's a Jan Lynn pattern. It comes with all the Aida and the floss for both of these. I don't know when I will start these, but I love to have them. I would probably not stitch them on this crunchy Aida, but we'll see. So I haven't opened, they're shrink wrapped, so I don't want to open them yet. But so thank you, Jess. These were amazing. They will go with my other creepy, well, I don't think they're creepy. They will go with my other doll cross stitch patterns that I have that I would like to start one day. But yeah, so that was all the stitching. If you are not interested in knitting or anything else, then I will leave you to it and I will see you next time. But if you're interested in knitting, stay tuned. All right, I have lots of haul and then I have a whip to show you with a really good amount of progress. So I'm really proud of myself. I am a new knitter for those of you that have never watched me before. I am just dabbling. I started with knitting socks this summer. I started that. And then I have now since dived into hats, and now I'm working on my first sweater. So I am knitting the pattern. It is Stripe Hype by Katova Kika. And this, I will put the Ravelry link down below. I'm stitching this along with my friends Bridge and the Museum Stitcher, Marjorie from Marjorie Made, and Elizabeth Ann from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. And we are all in various points. I am the not furthest along. I'm the furthest from furthest along. How would you say that? Words do escape me, but I am catching up, kind of. So it's kind of hard to show, but I am now joined in the round, which is a huge deal. So you can see these are the armholes I've got on both sides. So this is the front of my sweater with the neck hole, and this is the back. I'm knitting the size 2X, I believe. I'm knitting with all knitting for Olive heavy merino in different colors. I think my main color is called Pearl Gray. It's this color. And then I've got various other colors. So I'm gonna keep working in the round. I have, this is my second black stripe, so I'll do one more black stripe after the main color stripe. And then I will move to my third color, which is a green, which I'm very excited about. So I'm really proud of myself. I never thought that I could do this, and I'm doing it. And I haven't had to frog anything, I think so. Well, no, technically I have. Yes. When I first started this project, I did a whole stripe, and then I realized that the colors I'd picked out originally were not going to work because they were completely different weight than my main color. Whatever, you live and you learn. It's definitely one of those beginner things. But now I am full going. I'm going to definitely work on this a lot during traveling for Christmas and things. So I'm hoping the next time I see you, it'll have the third color in it at the very least. I would love to get down to do the body ribbing eventually, like soon. All right, then I have a bunch of haul because I have so many plans and I want to knit all the things. The first thing I'm going to show you, I pre-ordered this a while back. This is my Sorella yarn for it's a kit for a pattern, and now it's escaping me. It's called the Framed Sweater, and I don't remember who it's by. I will pop it up on the screen, of course, and I've got my yarn for it now. So from what I'm remembering, the main color will be this. This is Cashmere by Sorella. And then the upper arm area, the shoulders, that will be in this color, which is Cottage, which is this beautiful, yummy, plummy brown. It's not quite as red as my hair, but you know, you get it. And then the color work will be in Apple Cider Donut. My friend Bridget got a fingering weight version of Apple Cider Donut and is knitting a Musselburgh hat in this colorway, and it's knitting up so good. So I can't wait to knit with all of this, but obviously especially this one. So yeah, I have the sweaters quantity for all 3 colors for this to make this sweater. And I will start this sweater when my friends do and when I have my stripe pipe done, which my goal originally was to have the stripe pipe done by March, but I'm thinking, first of all, everyone is way further than I am right now. But secondly, I do think I'm going to be doing a lot of knitting in the next few weeks. So I'm hoping that I might get this done by the end of January, possibly beginning of February would be dope, but we'll see. And then another knitting plan that I would also really like to start, because I need another striped sweater. I want to knit, I think it's called the Olga sweater by Petite Knits. The construction is very similar to stripe hype. So I am comfortable jumping to that sweater next, in theory, because I will be using similar techniques and I think that'll feel good and I'll feel a lot more confident, and then I can go try something new like color work or whatever. So I want to knit the Olga sweater, but I want to knit it in this really beautiful deep maroon color as the main color. So it'll be the collar and everything, and then this will be the other stripe. So it's going to be like it's giving Valentine's Day for sure, and I love it. I love pink and red together, and I just think this will be the perfect Olga sweater. So I did get this from Knit Picks. It's Swish DK weight, and this one is in Blossom Heather, and this one is in Hollyberry. So this is also kind of Christmassy to me. I don't know why, but it is. So yeah, that is the Olga sweater plan, possibly. And then my last knitting plan that I'm going to talk about today that I would really like to start in the new year. This is a pattern that was just recently released by Katharina Kuntz. It is on Instagram. I'll also put the Ravelry link down below. I already bought the pattern. This is the Over the Garden Wall scarf. It is a double knitted scarf, so it's reversible. So one side is the darker as the main color and the other side is the lighter as the main color. It is a technique that I certainly haven't tried as a beginner, but I'm going to. So I have been told by Tara over at Will the Woman Crafts. She let me know that I can do it. I can learn. And that she's doing it right now with a Star Wars, and I did see this on her channel. She has a Star Wars scarf that she's doing with the same technique at the moment. And her goal is to finish that by the end of the year. Now, let's not all hold her to that, but I know that she had talked about that. So she was saying that I could totally do this. And maybe she'll join me, but we'll see. I went ahead and bought yarn for it because I am really jazzed about it. It calls for fingering weight yarn, and I think it calls for size 0 needles. So I am gonna also have to purchase those. I don't have those, but yeah, I'm really excited. I am very kitschy and a thematic person, so of course I had to get over the garden wall themed yarns to go with the scarf. The first colorway that I got, this is by Teeny Button Studio. They're based in New Orleans, Louisiana, and this is called Edelwood, which if you've watched Over the Garden Wall, you'll know what this is, but it is a why is this my favorite color? You know, like DMC 3021 is my favorite DMC of all time, and it's definitely this yucky brown that sometimes pulls green and gray, and it's just the coolest color ever. And this is that, but like times 1,000. So you can see there's definitely these dark plummy brown spots and some lighter warmer spots, and then this like ochre green brown color throughout, and it's just perfect. So I got 2 skeins of this. And then my lighter color, I got this from Oakwood Knits. They were having a sale on some mist dyes, some test dyes, and like one-of-a-kind skeins. I got really lucky, and they had 2 of these test dyes for the colorway Over the Garden Wall, and their fingering weight. So this was a test batch. The final iteration of this colorway, I think, is definitely more golden. Like brighter yellowy golden, but this is one of the test dyes, and I think this works perfectly. So this will be the dark color, this will be the light color, and the scarf will be reversible, so I can wear it either way, and I think that's gonna look really good together. Yeah, they look pretty comparable in terms of like fingering weight size. We'll see. I can't wait. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, so that is all of the knitting and the cross stitch. I can't wait to talk about plans for 2025. I will definitely put out a video. I think I will make it like a finish parade / plans video, just because I don't have like a lot of finishes from this year to show. In my opinion, but yeah, we'll see. And then I will do a whip parade in the new year with a bunch of stats and fun stuff for you. So let's talk about things I've been watching, listening to, and reading. I only have one book to talk about, and that is Lessons in Chemistry. Yes, I know I'm late. I think everyone and their mom has already read this, but I finally got my hands on a copy from my library, and I really, really enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. Based on the book cover, I'm like, I don't know why I was like, is this gonna be like a romance? Like, I don't know. I'm not into modern contemporary romances that much, so I was kind of surprised what the book ended up being, which is, in my opinion, a very like emotional, beautiful story about people. You know, like I don't know, it was just, I really, really enjoyed it. I think especially right now in the times that we're living in, the discussions about being a woman and the discrimination that you face, and this is set obviously I think in the 1950s or 60s, I don't remember. So like the main character is definitely facing a lot of discrimination as a woman, harassment, etc., etc. Trigger warning for all those things. And it is, I don't know, it's just a really beautiful story, and I really did enjoy it. So that's really the only book I have to talk about. I gave it 5 stars. So, in terms of what I've been watching, not a whole lot. I am trying to catch back up on Flosstube. Let me tell you, I've fallen so behind on Flosstube. I think it started a little bit before StitchCon, where I, like in June, where I was just like falling behind. And I was not watching a lot of Flosstube since then. I do have a few people that I watch as soon as it comes out, like, you know, I try to and everything like that, but it is very hard to, for me this year, it's been harder to sit down and have Flosstube time. However, that has changed a little bit. Work has gotten no less busy, but I did get my partner a whole new monitor set up for his gaming, and now he has like his own little like it's a I wouldn't call it a cave or like a studio. Again, we live in a 1-bedroom apartment. He has this little rolling desk that he keeps at the couch because we don't have room for another desk that's not my work desk. So I got him this thing that clamps, and it's got like a huge, now I got him a big monitor, and then he has his gaming laptop that like swings. There's like an arm, whatever. So now he's got these huge screens in front of him, and now he's using like one screen to watch like a Twitch streamer, and then he's using another screen to play a video game. So now I have the TV like to myself. Now, I'm not going to complain. Connor loves to watch all the things I like to watch. If I want to watch Flosstube, he's not going to complain if I put it on the TV. But I think inherently I'm like, if he's sitting there, I'm like, do you want to watch something together? So you know what I mean. Anyways, but now he's got his headphones on, so I don't care. So I'm watching whatever I want to. But now I have the opposite problem where we haven't been watching shows together. So that's really all I've been watching. But I'm catching back up on Flosstube. And then I want to talk about music. Spotify Wrapped came out, and I think this year was the year of pop for me, for sure. I think 2023 was the year of like ethereal folk, indie, classic rock. I was listening to a lot of Fleetwood Mac, Ethel Cain, Mitski, stuff like that. This year was definitely, Chappell Roan was my #1 artist. No one is surprised. Nobody else stood a chance, okay? Then we have, I don't know why Charlie XCX did not show up on my top 10. That's absolutely not correct. I listened to Brat, I don't know how many times. Like, I think I have opinions. Spotify definitely used AI to do their Spotify Wrapped this year, and it is very apparent, and that's all I'm gonna say. So anyways, Chappell Roan was on there. Who else? Last Dinner Party was on there. I had a bunch of stuff, but anyways, this was definitely the year of pop for me. I'm predicting 2025 is going to be the year of punk and Riot Girl music for me. The past few months since November, really, I've been listening to a lot of punk music. And I don't see that ending anytime soon. I just feel like that's kind of what I'm in the mood for this year. Of course, I still listen to pop and indie and all the things, but it feels like the past few years, I've definitely had more of a theme to the music I've been incessantly listening to. And I think this year is going to be punk. Saying that, though, I do want to talk about real quick. Lady Gaga's new single, Disease, is so good. If you have not checked it out and you are any type of, you kind of like Lady Gaga, maybe you haven't dived deep into her, maybe you haven't listened to her in a while, please go check out Disease by Lady Gaga. There is also 2 different slowed down versions. I would call them, one of them is like, I think, true acoustic, where it is just a guitar and her singing, and then one is a guitar, her on the piano, and her singing, and it is literally so beautiful. I love it. She's coming out with a new studio album in February. I will not shut up about it. I can't wait for it to come out. And yeah, so that is pop news technically. But in terms of punk music, if you are interested, you like punk music, maybe if you've not dabbled, I have a couple of recommendations and what I've been listening to a lot recently. Number one is The Idols. If you watch Peaky Blinders, The Idols show up a lot on their soundtracks. It is, I believe, a UK based punk band. So good. I've been listening to I've listened to them for years, but I don't know, I'm like really diving back deep into them, and I really like the song Mother recently. It's been really good to listen to. Obviously they have their hits and stuff. If you go to Spotify and you look at their top listened to songs, those are also wonderful and great. I also love Fontaine's DC is another great UK based, I think they're UK based, I might be wrong, punk band. Then Amyl and the Sniffers, an Australian punk band who I got to see live a couple years ago in concert. They came out with a new album and it is, oh my god. If you are on TikTok, you may have seen their one of their songs off their album. I think they released as a single called Jerkin, and it is so good, and people have been using that audio quite a bit. Obviously it is not for kids to listen to, so just a warning. But it's really, really good. I love Jerkin. I also love Tiny Bikini, I think is one of the track names that I really like the song of. I don't listen to a lot of male vocalist music, but punk is one of those things where there's a lot of male vocalist in that. But I love when it's a girl punk band, so to speak, or a woman vocalist. It is fun, and I do really enjoy it. And then I've been listening to Cheap Perfume a lot. And then I've been listening to the song Spiked by Bilk, B-I-L-K. That's been a really fun, like, kind of pop, not pop punk by any means, but a fun punk song I've been listening to recently as well. But yeah, if you have recommendations for punk bands, please put them in the comments down below. All right, with that, I'm gonna leave you. If you made it to this part of the video, leave me a Santa emoji or a Mrs. Claus emoji. Does that exist? I think it does. Whatever, leave it. Leave it down below in my comments, and if you are not already, please subscribe to see more videos from me. Like this video, helps me out, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye, baby.